Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sid. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Sid_Dwyer. And in today's video, I want to talk about Freelee the Banana Girl and Durianrider, who I would consider the worst vegan couple. And definitely just some of the worst vegans in general. If you don't know who they are both very outspoken, controversial vegan YouTubers. When vegan YouTube was at its height from 2015 to 2016, Freelee was at the front of it all, and by association, because they were in a relationship, so was Harley, aka Durianrider. By the way, Harley chose Durianrider as his stage name for the internet because he likes durians and he likes to ride bikes. And Freelee the Banana Girl chose her nickname from a combination of the word freedom and her first name Leanne to make Freelee, and her favorite fruit, bananas. So Freelee the Banana Girl. So Freelee and Harley think that they have the perfect vegan diet, but what they need to go with it is the perfect game. And I am, of course, talking about today's sponsor, Clockmaker. Clockmaker is a game set in the town of Clocksville, a small Victorian town full of mystical mysteries and dark secrets. And basically, the clockmaker of that town messed with some things, so now everyone is in a temporary cycle of anomalies and illusions and dangerous traps. And they need your help to unravel the tangled mess that has been created. One of the most fun things to do on Clockmaker are the match 3 puzzles. It's seriously so addicting, and it is no surprise that over 30 million people around the world play Clockmaker. And it's really not just a game, there's like lots of lore behind everything. There's a really compelling story behind everything, and lots of secrets to uncover and villains to defeat. And things don't always have to be that intense, you can sometimes just chill on there. You have options to fix and renovate the city, grow flowers, travel with your favorite heroes to different parts of the city, and heaps more. It's really a whole experience. And on top of that, one of my absolutely favorite things about this game is the fact that it can be played without Wi-Fi. If you know you're going to be stuck somewhere without Wi-Fi or data, Clockmaker is the perfect thing to help pass the time. You'll never get bored because there are so many games and levels to unlock. And it's also totally free, so there is no harm at all in trying it out. Click the link at the top of the description box or in the pinned comment to get 10 free crystals from me to you and start your adventure on Clockmaker today. So Freelee and Harley initially met on a raw vegan food forum, and then they started corresponding over email, talking about things like diet, training, and lifestyle. And then in 2007, they met in person and started dating. They bonded over their love of carbs, fruit, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, their love of animals, and of course veganism. In 2008, he got Freelee into cycling and helped improve her fitness. He coached her up on a strict high-carb, zero-stimulant diet so that she could be the best that she could be to do a 40-plus day bike ride across Australia. Outside of their joint love of fitness, they traveled quite a bit, spending a lot of their time in the US and Thailand. They would attend vegan gatherings and cycle around those countries. They loved Thailand particularly because of all the fruit, specifically durians. You know, it was kind of their happy place because people would be practically giving their fruit away to them, when in Australia, durians at times cost $80 each. And then in 2009, Freelee created an online forum of her own called 30 Bananas a Day. On this forum, people could talk about topics surrounding raw food, veganism, gardening, and exercise. They helped build up this community online, and despite Freelee technically owning the domain name, Harley considered it equally his website. And then in 2013, they got a rescue dog together called Figsy. This was more Freelee's decision to get the dog, but they both looked after her. And they also got into some YouTube beef with Tana Mojo together.
Her boyfriend suddenly, when something was talking about me getting f***ed, got interested because he's creepy.
If you've got a live link, video link, send it to me.
Big story time.
And he goes, oh, I'd love to see a live link of that. Send me that. Would you love to see a live link of me, a 17-year-old, getting f***ed with a toothbrush? You're not creepy. You're not weird.
I'm sure they probably considered that couple goals at the time. And another thing that they liked to do together was convince men to get vasectomies. Aside from being vegan, another cause that they were passionate about was stopping the human race from procreating. And Freelee has done this mainly through her YouTube videos.
So what I propose is that men get vasectomies. All men have to get vasectomies.
And Harley has done the same.
If I was in power, This is my little power trip. I would have every male have a vasectomy on the planet.
Plus the occasional creepy Instagram or Tumblr post. In one post he says, "Best thing about a vasectomy is I can ride freely bareback." So yeah. And then the first kind of controversy that they encountered together as a couple was during something called the Thai Fruit Festival, which was a festival that they created in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And as I talked about earlier, they are no strangers to Thailand. They've traveled there a lot prior to starting this festival. It's somewhat of a vegan hotspot. Chiang Mai was definitely way ahead of its time. It had a long list of vegan-friendly restaurants way before a lot of Western countries did. So it makes sense that they would want to start an event there. And they call it a festival, but it is definitely nothing like a festival. Like when someone says festival, you think of like Burning Man, Fire Festival, like you think of a big event. But the festival that they created was mainly just bike rides up a hill to do a Q&A with Freelee and Harley, and then big restaurant meals together. All it basically did was give a chance for vegans from around the world to come together and interact. And I don't think it is surprising that they encountered controversy when this whole festival was born from controversy to begin with. Essentially, the reason why they decided to create their own fruit festival was because they were a part of another fruit festival in upstate New York called the Woodstock Fruit Festival. However, in 2013, Freelee and Harley were kicked out of it. Harley was officially on the board as a governor, but was voted out because they ate cooked food. That festival promoted a raw food, fruit-based lifestyle, and with Freelee and Harley promoting the raw till 4 diet that incorporated cooked food, their ideologies just didn't align. So because of that, that is why Freelee and Harley started the Thai Fruit Festival. First festival was held in June 2014, and apparently it attracted over 250 vegans from around the world. In 2015, twice as many are said to have attended, but then in 2016, the invitation wasn't extended to as many people. The event was now only open to cyclists, and it was renamed to the Raw Till 4 Bike Festival. Okay, so now let's talk about what went down at these festivals. So in the first year, in 2014, things went pretty smoothly, but after that, things went rapidly downhill. In 2015, there were allegations against a man named Joe Best for being inappropriate with multiple women. Essentially, Joe was renting out a house in Chiang Mai to multiple women who were attending the event. I could probably spend the next 20 minutes talking about this situation because it becomes a lot more complicated than what I'm going to make it seem, but because it'll take me so far away from Harley and Freelee, I'll just give a brief summary. Essentially, Joe gave one of the girls a massage, which started off as a consensual massage, and then he started to massage her thigh, which wasn't agreed upon beforehand. He also touched another girl's hand during a dinner, which was unwanted. The 7 women in the house confronted him about this, and he confessed to sexual assault, and then he allowed them to stay in the house rent-free without him present until the festival was over. Later, he felt as though he was ganged up on and goaded into making an untrue confession, and then he asked them to leave the house before the festival had finished. They left the house, and this caused a lot of talk within the vegan community. So as the creators of the event, the whole reason why the girls were there to begin with, Freelee and Harley chimed in on the situation. Basically, Freelee's response was that she didn't want to feed in to the drama.
Alright, so many people focus on shit and drama and, you know, be a victim, poor me, that sort of vibe, and I don't want to be around people like that, okay? I decided a long time ago I don't want to be around that energy. I don't want to be sucked into that vortex.
Someone made a comment on Freelee's video suggesting that she should be giving attention to someone who's a victim of rape, and then Freelee responded with this: "No one got raped, lol. A thigh massage and hand touching is not." And then Harley said that the women just liked the drama.
I know Annie and Jill love drama. They love creating drama. They love attention. That's fine, girls, but if it's at my event, I'm going to call out a bit.
And he suggests that if the girls had better fitness, they would have a better outlook on what happened.
I think if Jill built her fitness level up along with Annie, if they trained together and if they got their Dwyer step time under 42 minutes, their whole mental paradigm, the mental health would just like be so much better. But they didn't do enough sport. They just sit around and like just dramatize it, sit around and be applying makeup and like spending 4 hours editing like an Instagram photo or whatever. If they spend that energy instead of complaining versus instead put that into training, that'd be fucking going next level emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything.
And completely unrelated to this incident was another assault incident that took place at this festival, but wasn't brought to light until a year later. Basically, a guy named Jack Francis allegedly pretended to be vegan to gain trust of some women at that event, and nobody had any idea what had happened until Harley had received an email from one of his victims a year later.
This happened at our festival last year, and I'm really sorry this happened. I'm going to read this out. I'm sorry this is going to be a super long message. I read Harley's post and I was super shocked. I didn't tell anyone about my experience with him. This guy's name is Jack.
So yeah, I'm really struggling to see what this event is even good for. Like, it's caused so much more harm than good. Just throw the whole event away at that point. But of course, they didn't throw the whole event away. And during 2016's festival, Harley took to Facebook to accuse YouTuber Isel Mazard of being predatory towards teenage girls. I can't confirm 100% yet if this is true, but this POS is allegedly in Chiang Mai and asking teenage girls for money, and I assume probably sex. Is he another Jack Francis? Then he later says, if you see him in town or know what hotel or apartment number he is staying in, then please tell me. You can remain anon, of course. I know some of the guys have spoken to me about him and want to confront him, but until we can confirm anything, let's keep it relatively non-violent. If he has broken any rules, we will citizens arrest him and hand him over to the Thai police. If they don't do anything, then yes, we can serve justice to the amount we feel is fair. And I think it's worth noting that the teenage girl that Isel was talking to was someone named Julia Boer. And the reason why I think this is relevant is because she went on Harley and Freelee's lifestyle, Raw Till 4. If you don't know what that is, it's a diet where you only eat raw food for your first meals of the day, and then you can have a cooked meal for your dinner. Anyway, Julia did this diet and didn't get good results.
Julia Boer is a unfortunate girl who, I shouldn't say unfortunate girl, but a girl who was very slim, then joined the Raw Till 4 high-carb vegan diet, ballooned up, and she says she gained 50 kilograms.
And even though she didn't get good results, she still stood by Harley and Freelee. And Isel had previously made multiple anti-Durianrider and anti-Freelee the Banana Girl videos on his channel, so when Julia saw that Isel had emailed her, she immediately told Harley. And then Harley, of course, blew it way out of proportion. Harley's claims were so extreme that Isel released the correspondence between him and Julia. In his first email to her, he says, "Hi Julia, I saw your references to Doi Sathep. Are you going to Chiang Mai / Thailand this year? By the way, you may get a kick out of some of my videos." And then Julia replies saying, "What do you want from me, Isel? Are you trying to turn me against DR, which is Durianrider? You got the wrong person, mate. Off." And then Isel replies, "Julia, in 5 years, you're going to look back at this and laugh at yourself." So yeah, obviously Isel wasn't guilty of what Harley was accusing him of. And Harley was actually confronted by a fellow vegan cyclist in real life about the claims that he made against Isel. And he says that he saw the emails between Julia and Isel.
You called this guy a pedophile. Did you see the emails between the two of them?
Yeah, did you see the
So
conversation?
how would that insinuate that someone's...
She came to me.
And what did you do? You called someone a...
So yeah, it seems like Harley deliberately jumped to a false conclusion, probably to try and take Isel down. Which is interesting because Harley has done so much more with Julia than just email her. They have actually met in person and have discussed the results that she got on the Raw Till 4 diet.
You want to add refined sugar to your whole foods, to your fruits. So if someone wants to be lighter, leaner, they need to be catabolic and carb the fuck up.
I'm not really confident with coming out of this, but I got my blood test and I have high triglycerides. And
Yeah,
lots of people said that...
you're like, that
money.
spikes your high... My triglycerides, I can feel it elevating just talking with you.
Because I saw your blood test, you have like 70 triglycerides. I have 223.
There you go. Because would you say if I'm a dog in the you got to pack a little puppy dogs in a pen, would you say I'm a hyper puppy dog or more of a chill puppy dog?
More of a chill.
Yeah. So if you want to chill your triglycerides, you need to be a chill puppy dog. You don't listen to fucking anyone else but us, Julia. You listen to me, listen to Freelee, everyone else is white noise.
But they are people from this community.
Doesn't matter. You listen to the directors. Mm. Listen to the king and queen. You don't question.
So the refined sugar is not like I don't need to cut out the refined sugar.
No, the issue's not sugar.
A lot of the critics, Harley, would say that you're calling Isel Mazard a... You're saying that he was preying on younger girls. You're saying that he was contacting younger girls. And whether that's true or not, the reality is that you're actually hanging out with Julia Boer and giving her the diet advice. People will criticize you for saying what you said about Isel, because for the simple fact that you're the actual one that has the contact with her.
And here's the analogy. I'm the school teacher. This Raw to 4 Bike Fest in Chiang Mai is my little school group, right?
Yeah.
So this is Durianrider Daddy, the teacher. Kids, this is what you should eat. Go ride your bike, go to bed, it's late. Isel's coming in on Facebook. Hey, what are you up to? Where you staying? Does it make sense? So I'm in contact with his kids, but he's coming in the group.
So yeah, Harley's accusations were completely unfounded. And then Isel wanted to sue Harley for defamation, so he set up a GoFundMe for $6,500. And he achieved his goal and was able to fund the legal fees. And then later, Harley confronted Isel on a live chat, asking what Isel had done with the money.
Where'd the money go? I'm not in prison yet.
That is true, but I did file a case you, and
Where?
they told me that it is filed in Chiang Mai.
But yeah, it seems like the case is currently still happening and a verdict hasn't been reached yet. And then shortly after Harley made these claims against Isel, a YouTuber by the name of Hannah Chloe made claims that Harley had sexually harassed her when him and Freelee were on a break in 2015. She was basically compelled to speak up and say something, because how could Harley make these kinds of accusations against somebody when he had done the same thing to her. Basically, in her video, she talked about how she was attending a potluck in Chiang Mai, Thailand, where Harley was also present. She was writing an ebook at the time and asked for his opinion on it. And then afterward, he asked if she could show him how she made the cover art. So she agreed, and then the next day he messaged her to meet at his hotel room. They met up, and once she was there, he asked if she could design the cover art for his YouTube channel. She obliged and started working on it on a couch in his room. And he soon started to make her feel pretty uncomfortable. He sat really close to her and ran his fingers through her hair, and when he got a hold of the laptop at one point, he wrote on it, "Do you want to kiss me?"
I said no and tried to laugh it off. He asked me again and I said no again, and shortly after that I finished the channel art and he walked me out. Before I left, he asked me again if I was sure if I wanted to leave, and I had a friend staying with me at the time, so I said that I had to get back to her. He made a joke about her joining us, and then I left very soon after that.
And then the next day, she wanted to show him what progress she had made, and he suggested that it would be better to do it in person. They met again, and he made more unwanted advances, and that time he kissed her anyway.
He kissed me anyway and then started to ask for more. I ended up making excuses. I had a friend in my apartment that I had to get back to. I was on my period. I was uncomfortable with how close it was to the breakup with Freelee, but he didn't listen to my excuses and he continued to ask me for more.
And then she reveals that after Harley had returned to Australia, she had a Skype call with Freelee. Freelee wanted to know all of the details of what happened between the two of them, and Freelee revealed to Hannah that Harley had slept with multiple other young women.
So Freelee knows exactly what he's done. She defends him when Tana Mojo calls him a creep, and she defends him when he wants to call someone else a pedophile. The hypocrisy of this situation is ridiculous.
And the reason why I bring Freelee up now is because she has a big women empowerment stance on her channel.
Because I want to empower you girls.
And while making my last video on Freelee, I did notice a lot of her women empowerment stances, and I actually really commended her for it. She was all for women not shaving their body hair and not wearing makeup, and it was really a breath of fresh air on her channel. But knowing all of this now, it doesn't really mean much because she wasn't there for women when they needed her. Because she says that Hannah is lying. The most recent time that I could find that she still considered Hannah a liar was in an interview that she did in 2016. She said, "Hannah got a lot of hate for her lies, but Freelee knows that it's not a lie." So the rough timeline is when Harley and Freelee were on a break in 2016, that's when Harley harassed Hannah. And then shortly after that, in the same year, Hannah had a Skype call with Freelee about what happened to her. And after hearing what happened to Hannah, Freelee still got back with Harley at some point. And then they officially broke up in June 2016. So basically, Freelee needs to call Hannah a liar to protect her reputation. She doesn't want to be seen as someone who got back with a guy after she knew that he sexually harassed somebody. because then all of the female empowerment videos on her channel would pretty much mean nothing. But yeah, after this situation, it's pretty clear that she's all for female empowerment unless it's at a cost to her. Okay, so now things are unfortunately going to take another dark turn. Another thing that this couple had in common was that they would come together and preach their controversial outlooks on situations. And usually these controversial opinions that they share have something to do with weight loss or diet, but one day they decided to claim that someone in the vegan community who was battling cancer didn't actually have cancer. In 2015, a YouTuber under the name of Jen Journey posted a video talking about her breast cancer diagnosis. And bringing her story to YouTube was her last-ditch effort to try and save her life. She ran out of money to do anything about it herself, and the cancer was getting worse. She could either let herself die or reach out for help. So that's what she did. She made a video reaching out for help.
Less than 2.5 years after my mother passed away, I found a golf ball-sized lump in my left breast. It has grown and taken over my entire breast at this point. I'm sorry, it's hard to breathe, talk. So that's why I'm talking kind of funny. I'm going to show now what my breast looks like. I don't know if I'm going to keep this video. Alright, I'm going to show now what my breast looks like. So I'm going to warn you that it is gruesome. So if you don't want to see it, please look away now. I'll only show it for a few seconds. So look away now. Here we go.
I didn't show it, but she did show her whole cancerous breast, and it was quite graphic.
This is my last hope. And I really need more help. Look at what's become of me. I've lost so much weight and I don't look like myself, and I'm not. I'm in so much pain every day. I have nowhere else to turn. I'm 34 years old. I'm a vegan and an animal lover and an artist. And a sensitive, empathic person. And I love to teach, and I love to help people and animals. And I really do want to live.
She then set up a fundraiser with a goal of $75,000. And of course, people naturally wanted to help. Jen was fighting for her life, and the majority of the vegan community rallied behind her. Jen was getting heaps of donations and was en route to reach her goal. And then that's when Harley and Freelee decided to chime in. Harley is known for being one of the most controversial vegan YouTubers, and he's definitely the more problematic one out of him and Freelee. And this is all the more apparent when they make a video about Jen's situation.
There's someone asking for money for a cancer clinic or the Gerson therapy or whatever. I think, in my honest opinion, it's a scam. I feel this person's using makeup or black salve on their body and asking for money. They look like a bit of a smack addict, a bit of a druggie, and in my honest opinion, it's a scam. They're saying, I've got 25,000, I need 100,000, and it just seems really wrong to me. $100,000? Or whatever they're asking for, just a scammer. In my opinion, I'm not going to be proven wrong, but that's my opinion. I feel it's a scam. Just look in that person's eyes, it's just, I see darkness, I see scammer.
So he thinks Jen is scamming people because he sees evil in her eyes. And since Harley was such a big part of the vegan community at the time, his opinion had quite a bit of weight to it. Essentially, people actually believed him, and Jen stopped receiving donations. So she then posted her medical paperwork from the doctors as proof. When I mean seeing her graphic cancerous breast should have been enough proof.
I'm being told by close friends that some less than intelligent people online are spending a lot of time and energy trying to convince others that I'm lying. So what I'm going to do now is apparently I have to take time out of my day of trying to save my own life and trying to find a treatment center that will take me and that I can afford. I apparently have to take time out of that to prove to people that I have cancer. So here is the original biopsy, which was done in May of 2015. Here you go. Here's my name, Jennifer Felici. Here's my face. Da da da. I am holding this. This is real. I can't even believe I'm proving this right now. Here you go. This is the original biopsy.
And one of her in real life friends also addressed Harley's claims.
I'm sending this message out right now to my friends in the vegan community, but mostly to this dude who calls himself Durianrider. I guess your real name is Harley. You and the Banana Girl put out this video the other day about what you call this woman who says she has cancer, that you look deeply into her eyes in the video and you saw nothing but darkness. So as far as you're concerned, it's a scam. Dude, what the f***? You're hurting this girl by doing what you're doing.
And after all of this evidence was mounting that Jen did in fact have cancer, he quietly deleted his video. By that you would think that he knows that he's in the wrong and he would issue an apology. But no, he took to his Tumblr to announce that there's nothing that can be done about her anyways because her mentality is in the wrong place. He says, "That Jen girl is too much of a victim for her immune system to be strong enough for recovery, in my honest opinion." Again, I'm open to being proven wrong. But yeah, Jen was able to go to Mexico and be treated with the money that she was able to raise before Harley chimed in. And as further proof and transparency, she filmed the doctor who was treating her there.
Hi, my name is Dr. Dan Rogers. I'm Jennifer's doc. But she came in emaciated, skin and bones, and to see where she is today, not even the same woman.
But it got to a point where she ran out of money and needed another $1,000 to stay another week.
As of right now, it's 9:30 a.m. I am $1,000 short of staying for another week. I'm not in any state to leave, not even close. Like I said, week to week is better than having to leave. And I told the doctor I'll pay day to day if I have to. I love you all.
And unfortunately, she didn't receive any donations and she had to leave treatment, and she died shortly after. He still never apologized, and after he found out that she died, he posted this video to YouTube.
No one's coming here to motherfucking save you. No one's coming here to save you. I'm not coming here to save you. Might give you some great advice, but I don't know you personally. I'll probably never ever meet you. What I can do is give you some advice. The best one is, no one's coming to save you. You're pretty much on your mother. No.
And on top of that, he's brought up this situation multiple times over the years on YouTube, doing everything but apologize.
I'm not even sure if he made a video about me killing Jen, whatever her name was, I'm not sure. But people can help me in the comments. I don't even know who this person is. I've never met them. People ask me to give $200,000, and I'm just like, it sounds like a scam to me. Blah 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 blah. Last year we had someone come in the community just from zero, from nowhere, just say, "Hey, I've got cancer, I need money." And so instantly I'm thinking, where did you come from? Rest in peace, Jennifer Felici. Is she even dead? Is she even dead, though? Was it a scam? Is she even dead? Where's the paperwork? Where's the official documentation? Where is the birth, death certificate for that person?
So yeah, he aided in a cancer patient's death and refuses to apologize. And then after being so united to hurt so many people, Freelee and Harley broke up in June 2016, but didn't make it public until September 2016. Harley was kicked off the forum that they made together. Freelee started paying somebody to board their dog, and a massive internet fight took place. Harley accused Freelee of getting Botox, for stealing his lifestyle concept and selling it as the Raw Till 4 diet, and he also accused Freelee of forcing her new boyfriend to get a vasectomy, and then Freelee accused Harley of cheating on her with multiple women, expressing interest in one of their underage followers, and blackmailing her into continuing to do videos with him. They also accused each other of domestic violence, and they both deny whatever each other accused each other of. And while they were trying to expose each other, Freelee was talking to a girl named Josie. She is a young girl who Harley coerced into sleeping with him. And this was a somewhat similar situation to Hannah's situation. Basically, Harley made unwanted advances.
He then tried to kiss me, and I kind of stepped back, and I was like, I don't think we should do this. Like, I don't think I want to do this.
And then he made her question herself.
And yeah, he just kept asking until I felt almost really stupid about saying no to him, because I felt like if he was questioning my decision so much, I was thinking surely there must be something wrong with me to say no to him. So at some point I just felt so stupid about my own decisions, my own, and at that point I was like, maybe I'm just making a deal out of something that shouldn't be a big deal, and maybe I'm being the stupid one. Maybe I should have just let him do whatever he wants to do. He then tried to kiss me again, and as I said earlier, I wasn't really confident anymore in that situation, so I kind of just let him do it. And we actually, and this is really weird, like looking back, but we actually ended up having sex that night.
And then he did things like refuse to wear condoms.
Such as when he refused to use condoms, basically, and kind of just made a joke out of it, being like, oh, it's too late now anyway. It wasn't too late at all.
And part of the reason why Josie made this video and spoke up was because Freelee was encouraging her to. And then after she had made the video, Freelee just kind of ghosted her. This is how she felt about Freelee when she was messaging somebody about the situation in 2017.
Look what Josie said about Freelee. She was so over the top kind to me in June, but never talked to me again after I made the video. I feel like she just wanted to get me to make the vid because she hates the narc. She might have never cared about me that much, I feel. Do you realize how dangerous that is? To encourage a teenage girl to make a video standing up against Harley when she know the kind of retaliation Harley has.
So it seems like Freelee convinced Josie to speak up against Harley just because she wanted Harley to come under fire again, not because she actually cared about Josie. And the Josie and Harley situation happened in September 2016, so this was after Freelee and Harley had broken up. So is it also possible that Freelee was only interested in helping Josie because she knew that she wouldn't get any backlash for it? I'd say yes. Because remember how she doesn't believe Hannah's story? Because it would make her look bad for going back to a guy after she knew what he had done. Like, there's a reason why she believes Josie and not Hannah, despite them having pretty similar encounters with Harley. One of them benefited her and one of them didn't. And this just brings it back to her women empowerment stance being performative, because based on how she's handled these situations, she's only all for women empowerment when it benefits her. And look, I have no doubt that Harley was incredibly manipulative towards Freelee during their relationship. I'm sure all of these tactics that he's employed on other women, he's also used on Freelee. And an example of that was something that happened after they had broken up. In 2021, he randomly trespassed on her off-grid property in Queensland, Australia. And when it happened, her and her boyfriend asked him to leave.
You came into our property. It's like me coming into your house. Why would you come in here without even saying anything?
You gotta go. You gotta go.
No. You can't force me to talk. You know all the hell that you caused me.
But he didn't, and he started crying.
And he started crying. It was very sad.
And the YouTuber Norwegian made a 5-part series about Harley, and a large part of that series is detailing how Harley is a narcissist. And one of the things that's mentioned in one of those videos is that narcissists will use crying as a manipulation tactic.
A lot of people think that narcissists can't cry, and that's not true. I've seen it firsthand. I know a lot of other people have too. However, keep in mind that every single thing that they do is there's some sort of end game for it. It's always a manipulation, and crying is no different.
And in Freelee's video about him trespassing, she calls him manipulative and a narcissist.
You must remember that when he's talking to you, he's extremely manipulative. So be smart, and we just ignore. We know he is a narcissist.
So yeah, while I would consider Freelee one of his victims to an extent, she definitely was a massive part of the problem. Also, I just want to say a big thank you to Norwegian. As I just mentioned, he made a huge 5-part series on Harley's behavior. He's got receipts for days, and he compiled everything together really well. And without his videos on Harley, making this video would have been a lot more difficult. So shout out and thanks to Norwegian. The link to his channel will be in the description box. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drink water, be nice to animals, and as much as I would like to say, let's take a moment of silence for everyone who has to deal with Karens, Freelee and Harley. I want to take a moment of silence instead for Jen Felici and her family. May she rest in peace, and I'll see you in my next video.